ready to start my 24-hour timer. My first make is going to be, yes, I'm wearing the same shirt I ended the last video in. It's because it's the same day. Okay, I do change clothes. My first make for the 24-hour challenge is going to be Clive the Capybara. It is a paid pattern that I purchased, and it's by the Crochet Code. Anyway, so I'm gonna start on that one. I sold one capybara on my last market and I really liked the idea of having Anchor the octopus kind of like, you know, the Kraken holding on to the capybaras, and then the sign would say rescue a capybara with the price tag on it. Okay, so I have a few of the pink ones that I made for Valentine's, which none of those sold. So I definitely want to make a couple normal size capybaras, and what I'm going to do is use this retro velvet because I got this from Premiere on sale. I'm pretty sure they were phasing it out. I don't know if this is something that they still have, but I am going to just double strand it. I've got my 3D printed yarn ball here with one one ball, and then I've got the other just on the center pole. So I'm going to double strand this so it's a little bit thicker because the velvet ends up being a little small, and then I will switch to the larger one on the rest of the color. And there's only a little bit of the capybara that's this color anyway, so I'm gonna try that and see if it works. So I've got all my stuff, got the hook, got yarn, what are we called, stitch markers, and now I'm going to set my timer to 24 hours. It wanted me to do seconds here. We're doing hours. All right. Oh, the timer duration must be less than 24 hours. Are you serious right now? Okay, well, I'm gonna do 23 hours then, and then I'll have to add an hour on to the end. How dumb is that? I can't do a 24-hour timer. All right, okay, so let's get started. Exactly into this 24-hour challenge, and I have my one capybara, Clive the Capybara. Partly why it took me an entire hour is because when I was closing up the back, you know, the last little round, you know, when you have to stitch through and then pull it tight, the yarn exploded. And so then I had to very carefully go around and catch all of those stitches so it didn't come undone. And so yeah, that was fun. But yeah, I got Clive done. So we are 1 hour into the 24-hour challenge, and I have one plushie to show for it. So yeah, we'll see how this goes. I'm not expecting to have a gigantic pile by the end. Well, maybe I kind of am. Maybe I need to adjust my expectations. If I have 24 objects, so if I get one done per hour, I still think that's pretty good. But maybe I can crank out a few more if I choose some smaller things too. But like, this doesn't look like it should take an hour, does it? Am I really that slow? Or I know it was problems on the end, but it didn't take that long. And this doesn't even have, I mean, this just has little embroidered eyes. I don't know what the answer is, but here we are. All right, quick little update. I finished a second Clive the Capybara. This is a paid pattern. I don't remember who. I think I said it earlier. So this time around, I did one extra round of the darker. You can see the difference there, and I think I like that. The second time, I did not get faster. In fact, it took me 1 hour and 5 minutes for this guy, partly because I had to frog a couple of rows because I missed a round in the pattern, and that was on me. So I just need to pay attention. And then part of the other reason is because of the interruptions again. And I feel like this is where my frustration comes in with like being a slow crocheter, is it just feels like it takes forever to get through projects, because it took me several hours to get through this 1 hour project. And when you're interrupted and then you go back to it, your flow is mixed up, you know? It's like it takes you a little while to get back. Where was I in the pattern? You know, whatever is happening. And so that's definitely part of the reason why it takes a little bit longer, I feel like, rather than having just dedicated time. So anyway, I'm not going to check in like every single hour and show you guys, because that would be probably amazingly boring for you. But I did want to get at least a second cappy done. I may do a third, just so I have several that are normal cappy colors and then the pink ones. But I'm going to dive into a couple new patterns that are smaller makes that I think I may be able to crank out just a little bit faster once I kind of get them down. So that is kind of going to be what I'm going to focus on for the next little bit of the challenge, and I will see you when I have something to update. Alrighty, friends, welcome back. It's only been a hot minute since I saw you last, but I wanted to do a quick little update and let you know some of my thoughts on what I'm thinking. Okay, so we are at 20 hours 47 minutes and 26 seconds counting down. So I have crocheted for 3 hours and almost 15 minutes of my 24-hour challenge. Okay, and the new things that you haven't seen yet are, one, this little mini cow. This is a free pattern by Nooks Hooks on, come on, why is it focusing on this random, that is so bizarre. Why does it do that? It freaks me out. It keeps trying to focus on something over here. Okay, this is by Nooks Hooks on Instagram. Try to give you a good 360 view here. I really like this. I think this is exactly the size I wanted for this market, because it kind of lines up with the little pigs that I have, and the little Mabel-ish chickens. It's not Mabel chicken, it's a smaller, similar style chicken. But this one is going to be a little bit more expensive. I think I'm going to price this one at $12. I've got my little pocket pigs and those little chickens right now priced at $10. But I think that this will be fine. I'm going to have several, so I'm going to spend some of my 24 hours doing multiples of this in different color ways. Just, you know, whatever. The only thing that I modified on this is the nose, the snout. It's supposed to start with like a chain 4 so that it's more rectangular than round, and I'll do it if I have to in a pattern, but if I can get away without it, I will. So I kind of modified this now. I started with a 5 magic ring 5, and then I just did a 2 increase for 8. How did I do it? No, I did a 2 increase. Did I do 8? I don't know what I did. Now I'm gonna have to go back and look at it again. I think I did 8 in the magic ring, and then I increased just 2, and then I had 10, and then I increased 2, and that was the right number. I don't know. Anyway, however I did it, it ended up with the correct number around. I just did around instead of rectangle. Oh my goodness. That was like the worst way to explain that ever. Okay, so the little mini cow, I'm going to make more of these. That was one of the things that I made in my time. And then the other thing I made was a Poggy's Place Critterling, what is this bird? Oh my goodness, cardinal. Because I live in Arizona and cardinals are a big deal. So I'm going to add these because I wanted to have a few small things to add to my $5 bin. These are so tiny. I don't do keychains. I've just never really got the appeal, but I'm considering doing keychains because I have these tiny little makes. And while I would just, if I were a kid, I would want it then no keychain. But I may put a few on keychains at some point and then add that as an option on the sign, like add a keychain for $1. I don't know. Does that make it more valuable? I couldn't tell you. So I actually have 2 of these guys, but only one of them counts for my 24-hour challenge because I made up one yesterday on, not on the clock, so to speak, just to kind of see if I wanted to do this. This seems like an awful lot of color changes for something that's this tiny, but you kind of have to have that if you want that correct look for this character, whatever, this critter. So and it's actually not that bad. It's really pretty simple. In fact, the one that I made on the clock, I think I made it in like 16 minutes, which that might be a record for me, honestly, as far as making anything goes. So maybe I found my first like 15-minute make. Do you think I can get it down to 15 minutes? Anyway, only one of these guys so far is going to count towards my 24-hour challenge, but I did do 2. Okay, so here's kind of my plan. I'm going to do, I don't know about a certain number. I was kind of thinking 10, like adding 10 of these to my $5 bin, but I won't be mad if I don't make it to 10. So I mean, technically that would be 9 if that counted for the challenge. And then I also want to make some of the Critterlings pigs because, you know, like I said, this is at a farm. It's not really a, you know, like an animal farm. I think they have like orchards, they do peaches at certain times of the year, that kind of stuff. But I wanted to still have farm critters. Ooh, have some farm critters so that, you know, it goes with a vibe maybe. So I want to do the little Critterlings piggies. Those will also be $5 makes, and those will be hopefully pretty quick makes because there's no color change on those, but it is an extra step to add the ears. So so the cardinals, the piggies, those are $5 makes. Then I want to use my recycled yarn and make these bees. These are going to be, I don't know, 7 maybe, 7 or 8, probably 7. I don't know, 7's sticking in my mind. It's extra work to do, and I don't make the wings separate. I just I half double crochet into the top with surface crochet for I don't know, 5 maybe, 5 half double crochets just to make a little wing, and then call it good, which I think works out perfect for those. But I want to fill this basket. These are the 4 that I had already, so I want to use up that yarn, maybe not entirely, but you know, as much as possible. I just want to fill this basket up with the recycled bees, so I think that I will do that. Then I will make at least 2 more of these cows, if not 3, because I kind of want to make like a blueberry inspired one. I'm seeing if people do like these different like critters, so I just want to do the patches in like a blueberry color. Definitely do one brown. I'm not going to do a highland. I don't want to do any loops for hair. I'm just not in that mindset right now, so I'm just going to stick with this basic cow pattern and do different colors. So I'll probably do a brown and white instead of the black and white. I may do a pink one, I may do a blueberry one, and then I would have 4. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. And then what else? I kind of had a list in my brain, and maybe I should like write it down on actual paper. That's a thought. There we go. Okay, so now I have a paper. Let's write this down. I feel like I just do better if I have a plan. You know, something that I can look at and check off as I go. So yeah, just trying to, I don't know, there's something about putting something on a timer or where I feel like I'm crunched for time, or I'm timing myself to see how fast I can do something, makes me, it just stresses me out. I don't know. Okay, so we are going to do cardinals. 9, we're going to shoot for that. We're going to do piggies. I don't know, we could do 10 piggies maybe. I would like to do 3 more cows. And then I would really like to do another hoodie bear with a chick hoodie. because it's kind of springtime-ish and, you know, the farm idea. Let's see if I can maybe pull that one off. And then the bees. I don't know. I don't know how many I can get out of that. So just however many bees. Okay. And then the other thing I would like to make is some more of Waffles, the duck. He is so adorable. And I want to do a, I want to do one in the almond Bernat, which I got from Walmart because I was influenced. And I have some ideas for what to do with it. All of that after I already went into the whole why I didn't buy the Mama Made Minis colors from Premier. But I'm okay with buying something specific for a project when I know I'm going to use that color like soon. So anyway, I want to do Waffles in the almond, and I want to do the almond with a pink beak and feet, and then I want to do a mallard version. I would love to do a third, but I don't know that I'll have time. So we'll see. We'll see if I can get 2 waffles in a hoodie bear, bees, cows, piggies, cardinal. I feel like there was something else, but to me that also sounds like probably more than I can chew in the next 20 hours and 47 minutes. So we'll just see what happens. But I will keep you updated, probably not hourly or whatever, but I will do intermittent updates as we get through this week and show you my progress. So stay tuned. Alrighty, it's time for an update. Hang on. Okay, get rid of that. I was listening to Nook's Hooks and looking at her amazing display that she's doing with all of her hoodie bears, and it's incredible. Is there fuzz in my hair, or is it just glitter? Just hair glitter. Okay. Okay, update on the 24 hours. I am down to 14 hours, 13 minutes, and 3 seconds left. So let's talk about what I've done in the time since the last update, which I can't really remember. I think I was talking about these guys. I have 4 of the cardinals done. I went off script a little, and I made the Poggy's Place little cocoa cup without the marshmallows, because a cup like this is always going to have coffee in it for me, you know? So I have 4 of these little guys, and I think I'm going to try to make some in a different color also, because these work up pretty quickly. So again, these are for the $5 bin, same with the cardinals. The other $5 item, the Poggy's Place Critterling I have done, is the little piggy. And I'm struggling a bit with the nose, but I think you can tell it's a pig. I kind of wish it had a curly tail, but I don't know how to do that on something this small without the tail completely overwhelming it. Anyway, I got 2 of these guys. This one's ears a little low. That's okay. I'm going to try to make a few more of these Maybe not as many as what I put on my list that we kind of went over together, because I just, you know, I got to get some other stuff done. So we'll see. I'm kind of using those as my in-between things when I have a gap in the schedule. So those work up quickly. I can knock one out between students if I have a space of time. What else? Okay, I think that was it for the little things. And then the other thing that I did was the hoodie bear. I showed you the ending of this one. This guy was originally slated to be a duck hoodie, but I don't love how the eyes would be like poking through the hood. So there's some, I don't know. I think that I just like it as a plain hood. Maybe it would sell better if it was a duck. Oops, sorry. But I think it looks a little bit like a little raincoat, you know? So he's super cute. Love the floppy legs. I think I'll always do that one. I prefer the floppy legs over the standing version. And so yeah, this guy, it took a while. I did not time myself on how long this took, but you know, I'm thinking it's probably a good couple hours worth of work on these ones for me. So it just, I don't know, it takes me a long time, and my wrists were definitely feeling it. I don't know if it was the yarn or just my tension or what, but yeah, I'm definitely feeling it in my wrists with this yarn. So this is the Stash Goals Mustard and Stash Goals Dark Gray, I want to say. And speaking of Stash Goals, I did put in an order today for at Premiere. So I got a couple of the new colors because they were already in my cart. I did remove some because I was like, I just have to. So, but okay, refocus. I need some yarns that I can use as different skin tones for some of the projects that I have. For patterns that I purchased that I want to make, I need something that will pass as a good skin tone. And I haven't really done any like babies, like humanoid type things, so it hasn't really mattered in the past what color, you know. I mean, you could make an animal anything. That's why I have pink capybaras or, you know, blueberry cow or whatever. That's all cool, but I don't know about a blueberry baby. I think you'd want the baby part to actually have some natural-ish skin tone. So I'm trying to find yarns that I think will work for that. I have a couple that I'm willing to try that, you know, I've got already, but anyway, all of that to say, I bought a couple of the bags, the for sale bags, from Premiere, which, you know, they all have some problem, which they were listing rough texture. So I hesitated a little on that, but I was like, I've already got burnout stuff in here. It's whatever. I just need to take my time. Right now, I'm rushing through because I'm trying to get done with this 24-hour challenge. So I feel like I'm overextending a little bit on the crochet. I guess I didn't realize in my brain how how much time 24 hours is. It's only one day. So you think about doing 24 hours straight, which there's no way I was going to do that. But if I'm thinking about 24 waking hours, you know, that's a part-time job. So I'm trying to get it all done by Friday. I do have 14 hours left. Today's my last teaching day for the week. And then I have some, you know, just life stuff that I have to get done. Got to take the dog to the groomer. Got to get the kids here and there and all the other things. But I'm really, really hoping that by Friday I can get through the 24-hour challenge, and that way I can at least post the video on maybe Saturday, if not on Friday. So no, I can't. Okay, Saturday is the market, so it's gotta be Friday or it'll be next week. Okay, so we'll see what happens. I'm not putting too much pressure on myself. Like, if it happens, it happens. If not, then I'm okay with that too. So anyway, all of that to say, I put in a yarn order, so I got some more Stash Goals. I'm looking for certain types of greens. I got the Zest color, the green zesty color from the Mama Made Minis collab. I really wanted to try that one out on a specific pattern. So So I got the colors that I feel like I need, not just colors that I thought were pretty. So that's my excuse for spending another, well, however much on yarn. Okay, so anyway, it is what it is. I'm gonna just keep plugging along and we'll see how far I get today in between students and all that other stuff. But I wanted to show off my little hoodie bear. I feel like I put his eyes a little too close together because the face shaping kind of pulled him in, but that's okay. He's adorable. And now I have 2 hoodie bears. So that makes me feel a little bit better. Come on. This yarn was just like the most sheddy yarn ever. I'm covered because it just was coming off. So anyway, so yes, I'm glad I got this guy done, and now I want to start working on waffles because I really want to get a mallard and a the other one I said, the almond with the pink beak and feet. So if I can get those 2 done in the next 14 hours on my thing, I feel like that would be a great accomplishment. So, all right, well, we will see you when we have something else to report. Hello, everyone. It is Thursday. Trying to think what I have to show you. Not much. This 24-hour challenge is teaching me a lot about myself and my capacity. Also, 24 hours is a long time, but I don't feel like I'm accomplishing a lot in that amount of time, if that makes any sense. I really shouldn't compare, but I've watched some other people doing this challenge, and I'm like, how do you do it? Like, my arms are killing me. I did purchase this Comfrey Restore Recovery Salve. I should have put some on last night. I can't remember who it was. Crochet in Christ with Jess, maybe, who talked about this stuff. I'm going to be using it. I'm going to use it right now. I'm going to use it while we're talking. My arms are just really getting tired. My wrists and my forearms are just hurting, aching. My right thumb is aching. So I'm going to finish this challenge because I wanted a challenge, and this is definitely challenging me. So I'm going to finish it, but I want to work on some things that are just a little easier on my body. So we'll see. But let me show you what I've done so far. Partly, sorry about the skin sound. Ugh. If you like me, sounds bother you, so I apologize. It was bothering me, and if that picked it up, it bothered you too. Okay. What do I got? So yesterday I made 2 more of the little piggies, and I figured out what I was doing wrong, and I got the snout on better. So I've got 2 more of those. So 4 of those total. These are going in the bag. I made 1 of the little cuppas in the corally color. So I want to make at least a couple more of those, so it's not just one lonely one with the mint colored ones. And then I have been working on the waffles the duck, and it's these yarns that are killing me, actually. What have I used? So I used the Bernat almond that I got from Walmart. Waffles is not done. This is as far as I've gotten on the mallard version of waffles. So it's still in progress. However, we are to the assembly section. I literally just have to attach the legs and the wings, and then I got to figure out the tail. Now, this creator just recently came out with a secondary pattern, or another pattern, which is basically Waffles the snuggler. It's a different, it's kind of the same pattern, but it's different slightly. The wings are different, the legs are different, and the tail is different. And the thing is, I don't want to have to make a separate tail and sew it on. So I'm just going to try my best to surface crochet a tail. And I looked at the pattern, I looked at her new one, like, I don't want to buy it. I've got Waffles. I love Waffles. I love his wings. I love this style. I love the way he looks all spluted out. I don't want the other pattern, but I do want the tail. I want the tail of the other pattern. So I'm not going to purchase it. I'm just going to do my best to make something tailish, feathery on here. I actually considered using the technique that was part of the ostrich pattern that I did, the Oscar the ostrich, and do a little tail with that, which I may, you know, or I might just do something completely different. I don't know, but I do not want to do 4 single crochets in a magic ring. I don't want to. So I'm not going to. I'm going to figure something else out. So this guy's almost done. He's taken me forever. This yarn it's not terrible. And this is a Yarn Bee, something from Hobby Lobby. It's not terrible, but the blankety yarns, the more textured yarns, just drag on my hook and hurt my hands after a while. So it is what it is. And that's it. That's all I have for my update thus far. We've got waffles assembly that needs to happen and some eyes I need to embroider. And then he's going to be done. And I got those couple little things done. So for this afternoon, after I finish waffles, I'm going to crochet some of those cows that I had mentioned before. I still only have the one. I'm going to do a blueberry cow. I have the blueberry yarn, and so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do the blueberry cow, and then I may do one with brown spots. So maybe use the retro velvet for that. So anyway, that is kind of the plan for the rest of this afternoon. I have 9 hours left on my 24-hour challenge. So we will see what we end up with in the end, and where the end takes us. Because I still don't know if I'm going to be able to get through this challenge by tomorrow like I kind of wanted to. So it was like a week of a challenge. Maybe I should have been a little bit more urgent about getting a couple of hours in early on in the week, but you know, it is what it is. So, all right, we're just going to keep plugging along. Okay, waffles is done. Oh, let me stop my timer. Alrighty, so I got the sleepy eyes I'm not super happy with them, but for now we're gonna just roll with it. And of course I did the mallard version. I accidentally put the head on without putting the color change part on the belly, which is what the pattern says to do, but it worked out because the color change actually ended up right here on the side, and I kind of disguised it with the wing. So I'm happy with that, because then you can kind of see it there, but you don't have a lot of those color change jags. And I did just do a modified tail. I think it's fine. I'm not sure if it's you know, as good as the crocheted one, but I think it's cute, don't you? Nice cute little tail. So waffles is done. I think I'm gonna have to price this guy at around 32, and I'm not really sure if that is, I don't know, is accurate. Even though I'm doing the countdown here, I'm really not keeping track of how long it takes me to it, but this took forever. It felt like it took a really long time. I know it took me at least 2 hours, I would say. So yeah, but that's the mallard version of Waffles the duck. And I am not going to make the almond version that I originally had intended to make. That's going to just have to be another make for another time. So I think I'm going to switch over to making cows and see if I can crank out a couple of those. I'm at 9 hours and 13 minutes left, so we'll see what happens. Good morning. It is Friday. It is the day before market day, and it is hopefully the last day of my 24-hour challenge. I'd like to be able to show all of the things that I made in 24 hours all at once. But if I don't get it done today, then that's not going to happen because I have to take stuff with me to the market. So let's talk about what I've done since the last check-in. I know I already showed you Waffles, but I'm very proud of him and I have to show you again. He's adorable. Not very market friendly for me. I mean, as far as like being a bigger item, then Waffles is great, but it's just, I don't know. I feel like I have to charge more than people want to pay for something that size. But when you're talking about handmade, size is not always the only thing that matters. So anyway, then last night I made a couple of the mini cows by Nooks Hooks. I got the brown spotted one. And I got the blueberry one. I just think he's so cute. So yes, I enjoy making these guys. So I may make another one today. I started this morning out at, I don't know what time. I currently have 6 hours and 6 minutes left. Don't know if that can actually all happen today, guys. So I may end up having to cut this challenge short. We'll see. I did get 2 little bees done today out of the recycled yarn, and this is all I'm doing for the rest of today. I wanted to fill up this basket, which isn't gonna happen, but these guys are going in. So I forget how much I hate this yarn. I just want to be done with it. Like, that's why I'm making it all into bees, because I just want to be done with this yarn. It is the Lion brand Respun. It's just terrible to work with. It's awful. I don't know, it was necessarily created for plushies. Probably not. It's not plush. It's slippery and it's fibery. I don't know how to explain it. I mean, you can see kind of like the halo that comes off of these guys, and it's just, I don't know. It's not pleasant to work with at all. It was killing my hands this morning. So I'm like, okay, I've got the 2. I'm done. I've got 6 recycled bees. That's going to be enough. And then I'm going to bring that yarn with me tomorrow, and I will just make bees out of it because it's an easy pattern and I can put it down, pick it up, whatever. And then I can just add those bees into the basket. But I'm done making bees for today. I was just like, I'm not fighting with this yarn. I'm not doing it. So that's as far as I've gotten today. I mean, those are the only 2 things I made today. So let's check our list, shall we? Waffles, I said I was going to make 2. No, I'm making 1. Bees, I just put into, you know, whatever. Hoodie bear, I did get that done. I brought 3 more cows. So maybe I will make another cow this morning. And then I had 10 little piggies and 9 cardinals, and I've only made 4 piggies and 4 cardinals. So I may work on those little $5 makes, but I would like to make another Clive the capybara, I think. So if I did that, I'd have 3 of the regular colored capybaras plus the pink ones. And then I would have 4 cows if I made another cow. So I think I might try to do that. I don't know. I'm tired, and this has kind of been a lot. So anyway, it's fine. It wasn't something I did for myself. It was totally optional. Nobody made me do this. So we're just gonna see where it takes us from here. But I do have to run to Walmart because I've got to get some Sharpies, because in my last market I forgot my Sharpie. I don't know. The children must eat them. That's all I have to say, because it doesn't matter how frequently I buy Sharpies. They're never available when I need one. So I'm going to buy a pack of Sharpies and I'm hiding it. And I'm going to put one in my little container that I take with me, and I'm going to hide the rest. So, anyway, I got to get Sharpies. I've got to get the little zip ties so that I can put my stand together. So I have some market prep-ish stuff that I have to do today. I've got to put my stands together so that they're ready to go. I got my space assignment, and I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I kind of looked through, you can't really tell based on, you know, the names of the vendors on the list, but I definitely had somebody with something crafts, some, you know, something stitch or so. I can't remember. So I know that there's some other like-minded-ish handmade vendors there. I have no idea if they jury this stuff. I kind of feel like it was a little juried. I know I had to send pictures in, but I don't know. You know, this market coordinator is on their way out. They've sold this market, and so maybe they're just kind of like, whatever. I don't know, because I got an email this morning and it was like, we're not checking people. We're just waving people in. We're not checking people in like we did before. So you need to reply to this email and let us know that you know where you're going. And I'm like, well, I have never been there before, but I will try to follow the map, you know? So we'll just kind of see how it goes. You know, I don't have expectations. I mean, everybody has expectations, but like, I have no idea what to expect. So, we'll see. And that will be an upcoming video. We'll talk about it and figure out what happened. And if this is even a candidate for me wanting to be at this venue at any time in the future, even though it will be a different market, I guess. I don't know. Anyway. All right, on to the next. So my tripod is not up here right now. Hang on. Too much light. Can't do it. All right. I have 36 minutes left of my 24-hour challenge, but I am so behind on loading stuff up for the market tomorrow that I'm going to have to, I don't know if I'll get it done tonight. So what I'm just gonna do is I will make 2 more of the Poggy's Place critterlings, because that takes me 15-ish to 20-ish minutes. Got that one down to 13. So I'm gonna make 2 more of those. So we're gonna count 2 more critterlings as part of this challenge. And then I did get my little ditty decks done. Sorry, I don't have my normal tripod. So he's green, and I just put the glitter disc eyes in. Is it gonna focus? Again, I crochet in the legs, and the horns are bobbles instead of separate pieces. But yeah, this did take me forever. I think that my momentum is just waning. So I don't remember what I had left, but this took way longer than it probably should have. But I think I'm just slow. When it comes to anything that has multiple pieces, it slows me way down. So anyway, I will do a wrap up on all of the things that I made. I probably am not going to be able to show all of them all together, but we'll talk about it before it's all said and done. And then, yeah, tomorrow's the market, so we'll just kind of see what happens. All right, it is time to finish this challenge. It is now Monday, so a couple days later than what I wanted to be for this 24-hour challenge. I have 36 minutes left, and I decided rather than just create 2 of the tiny Poggy's Place critters, I was going to do something completely different. So I am going to attempt to create a mini cupcake, which is a free pattern by the Squishy Witch on Instagram. So I'm going to see how many of these 36 last minutes this takes me, and we're going to wrap this up today. Timer just rang, and this is what I have left. I just have to hide my ends. So I'm gonna do that, and we're gonna call this a win. So I originally wanted to get all of this done before my market that was on Saturday, because I wanted to be able to show all of the 24-hour makes all together, and that's not gonna happen. But fortunately, you guys have already seen them all. You've seen them all throughout the video, so why do I need to rehash that? I mean, that would be dull, right? Okay. It's done. Okay, and again, this is a free pattern on Instagram by the Squishy Witch. Actually, it's got 3 different items in this. It has a mini cupcake, which is this. It has the blueberry muffin and a little mini cake. So I think I'm gonna make several more of those. But give me a second. I'm gonna reposition this and take a drink, and then we will go through and wrap up this 24-hour challenge. Okie dokie. It is wrap up time, finally. This video feels like it's taken me forever. I don't know, you probably feel that way watching it also. If you made it this far, you get to see the wrap up, yay. So, thoughts. Sorry, it's been a minute. Let's first go through everything that I made on the 24-hour challenge. Got my handy dandy notebook. Okay, I was able to make 3 of the Clive the capybaras. I made 4 of the Nooks Hooks mini cows. I made 7 of the little Poggy's Place cardinals. I made 1 hoodie bear with a yellow hoodie. I made 5 of the little cocoa cuppas. That's also Poggy's Place. Hoodie bear is also Nooks Hooks. I will tell you if I remember who all of these are. The piggies, I made 4 of those. That is also Poggy's Place Critterlings. Waffles, the duck, the mallard. That is Lulu and Baby. The bees, I do not remember what bee pattern I make, but if you need one, let me know. It's a free pattern on Instagram. But again, I freehand the wings, and I just kind of, a bee is a bee. And then bees I made 2, waffles I made just the 1, and ditty decks I made 1, and that is handmade by Jody. So for the 24 hours I ended up making 28 items, which it's a little bit more than an hour, which is good. Several of these take me a lot longer than I expected them to. The hoodie bear takes me a long time, waffles took a really long time, and ditty Dex Dragon took a long time. So those are all very big items that just take up time. And for the inventory total, I ended up with $281 worth of additional inventory for 24 hours worth of work. So anyway, that was the 24-hour challenge. Now I did also learn a few things. One is time pressure and I don't get along well. Secondly, 24 hours is a long time to spend crocheting. And I was really feeling it by the end. My hands and arms are still very sore. This is the first thing I've made in 2 days because I needed a break and I can still feel it. So I don't think it's wise for me to push quite that hard to make this stuff. I mean, again, I'm a hobbyist. This isn't something that I'm trying to do for my bread and butter. It's something that I do for my own mental health and well-being, and then hopefully to be able to continue my habit, essentially what the markets help me with. So that said, I just don't think it's wise for me to push that hard to make that many things because, yeah, my arms just hurt over time. So yeah, but I also enjoyed having the challenge. So it is fun to challenge myself to do things. It keeps me motivated, and I was just curious, like, what can I legitimately get done? And I watched somebody else's video on their 24-hour challenge. They ended up making $1,000 worth of inventory, but they were also making a lot of like $10 type items, so the smaller things that can add up more quickly, which maybe I could have focused on that, but it doesn't matter, and it's not about competition, and it's not about comparing. So I was just curious more than anything, like, how much can I really make in 24 hours. And I think that I did a pretty good job. So I need to add my little cupcake to my 24-hour challenge. And actually it goes into a different week. That was kind of fun, and I enjoyed doing it. I hope you enjoyed watching, and maybe you were motivated to not do this. That could be a thing too. But either way, I'm glad that I did it. I had a good time, even though there were a few moments I was like, why am I even doing this? This is crazy. But overall, I enjoyed the challenge. I maybe wouldn't do it again on a market week, because that added another layer of complexity to the challenge, but it was fine. And if you come back next time, I will talk about the market because that happened this weekend too. So anyway, thanks for hanging out, and I'll talk to you guys another time. Bye.